listening to for years and studying under, and his name was from GMS, double honors, and he said, why don't you bring out this beautiful word to the public? Why are you're folding your napkin by trying to say, well, I do all my works in secret, which I do. I don't, once this is over, I'm going to continue bringing out the word until I get home. And then when I get home, I already taught my kids in class, so I'll probably just go and start putting up videos on the internet.
IUIC, ISUPK, I deal with our sons and daughters in HOI, I deal with everybody that got their truth.
I'm going to be honest with you, I don't deal with any of those guys. All those camps, there's something that we all have in common. The reason why I don't subscribe to them, they all have a 501c3. And if you read the 501c3, you know that you're not allowed to actually teach everything out of the Bible. That's why Daniel will sit there and tell you, oh, you can get the MOTV and repent, but not according to Revelation chapter 14, starting at, I think, verse 9. Right. You can't repent.
Well, the Lord told us to come outside with the victory, so I don't listen to anything that's in those synagogues, but I think you'll go outside.
Yeah.
Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. In other words, peace, love, and blessings. First and foremost, Kol Halayama, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rukwakadash. What I wanted to get into right now is two things. Hold on. I want to get into two things. The first thing is when I gave double honors to Amat Wanabad is because I've literally studied under him for years. And what I meant by folding your napkin is if you're going to try and tell people, oh, I do the works, but I do them in secret. It says to go out into the highways and the hedges, preach to the wind, and compel them to come in. Right? Let's just get it. Let's get it. Hold on, let's just get it. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled. Luke 14:23. The works that you do in secret are your alms. You do your alms in secret. Bringing out the word, you need to cry aloud. And let me just bring it out. Hold on. Isaiah chapter 58 and verse 1. Cry aloud, spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and shew my people their transgressions, and the house of Jacob their sins. So, alms and waking up the children are two different things. You're going to help the children. If you're going to do something for the children of Israel, you're going to do it in secret. But when it comes time for this word to come out, you need to scream this word out as loud as you can. You've got to let everybody hear your voice. And I'm not saying like, I don't mean like literally scream as loud as you can. But remember this, when Yahushua spoke, he was able to speak to a multitude of people, 5,000 I think, and everybody was able to hear him. And the prophets were actually scared of him after that. So anyway, with that being said, okay, we've got through that part. That's what I was talking about, folding your napkin. Now the second part. He clearly said that he was subscribing to multiple camps. Now what has GMS taught us about subscribing to multiple camps? You're gonna find a plain man in a pot of confusion. So let's bring that out. Amos 3:3. Do two men walk together unless they have agreed to meet. And hold on, let me get the KJV. They always do this to me. They'll change it from KJV to some stupid other. I don't care. I want KJV. I want the one that King James wrote, who is a black man. That's all there is to it. A so-called black man, but an Israelite, Yasharal Tazaiwan Wa Yerushalayim. That's why I like the KJV. Here we go. Can two men walk together unless they be agreed? Okay?
Okay, but listen to this right here, man.
Look at that, I didn't want to let me pause it. But I'm going to show you the next one. So I'm going to get a precept for this. Can two walk together except they be agreed? Can two people hang out and have a good time unless they agree on things? You know, no one's going to agree on 100% of everything, but at least 90. If you ain't agreeing on 90% of the stuff, you're going to have some problems. 90, 80, and then your friendship level decreases from there. So, can two men walk together except they be agreed? Let's get a precept on that. I just want to make this clear before I bring out this precept. I'm not going in on dude. I thought he was sincere. I thought dude was sincere, honestly, because he was talking about his reader. He was talking about coming back. He was talking about they don't really film anything they do, but they go out into the park. What I was trying to explain to him is the reason why we film it is so we can reach other people. We can reach more people on the internet. So go out there and, you know, into the highways and the hedges and preach to the wind. But when you have multiple camps, and you heard him, all those camps have a different doctrine. Each camp that he mentioned had a different doctrine. So I explained to you guys I explained to you in Amos 3:3, can two walk together except they be agreed. So I'm not going on him. I'm trying to explain that you can't go with 7 different doctrines and then make a doctrine out of it because it's going to be bugged out. Now I'm going to get a precept to can two walk together lest they be agreed. And I am talking about these camps trying to unite. Not dude over here who's clearly just sincere trying to get to the truth. So it's our job as the real prophets to teach him you can't go around listening to all these false doctrines. You have to stick to what the real truth is. And if you're not doing that, then you're not in the truth. And that's what GMS has been trying to tell everybody from the jump. They're not trying to be right. The scriptures are right. So let me get a precept. This is 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 14 through 16. But ye not be, I'm sorry, Salakia, I'm getting excited. I don't have my glasses on either. Let me go ahead and start over. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship hath righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion hath light with darkness? Somebody's going to be wrong. In fact, everybody's going to be wrong except for one camp at the end, because since everybody wants to bring out separate doctrines, that means that only one camp can be right. So there's going to be light and there's going to be darkness. Now, not all those camps did actually have a 501c3. I would have to look it all up. But the problem is that they say certain things. They take money from the people as a business instead of collecting alms as profits. They literally are a business. This is all about financial gain. So that's where the darkness comes in. Let's go to verse 15. And what concord hath Christ with Baal, or what part hath he that believeth with an infidel? So how can you believe with a non-believer? You can't. In fact, let's get the word infidel. Let's just look that word up so we can correctly break down the scripture. I just want to show you guys, according to scripture, infidel does mean non-believer or unbelieving. So how can you believe with a non-believer? Verse 16. And what agreement hath the temple of Yahweh with idols? Those idols right there, and I'll show you right now. Hold on. Let's just shrink it down. Let's go to the Strong's. Let's go back up. Let's go back to 16. Sorry about that. With idols.
Strong's G 1497. Eidolon. Eidolon.
Eidolon. Eidolon. Okay? So, now, whatever represents the form of an object, either real or imaginary. Okay? So, like I said, that when they're saying idols, it's not talking about not doing anything. It's talking about a false god. All right, I'm going to read 2 Corinthians 6 and 16 in its entirety, and then we're going to shut it down and call it a day. And what agreement hath the temple of Yahweh with idols? For ye are the temple of the living Yahweh, of Yahweh, as Yahweh hath said, will dwell in them, and walk in them. And I will be Yahweh, I will be their God, and they shall be my people. So, we are the temple. He dwells in us. He walks with us. That's why we're the only ones that can really just cry out and be heard. He says, I will be their God, their Lord. I will be Yahweh to them, and they shall be my people. So the ones of us that have a spirit sealed in us, that's who he's talking about. But going back to the other camps, somebody's got to be wrong. That's all I'm saying. I don't think that the other camps worship false gods unless you're calling to Christ. If you're calling to Christ and you're saying Christ and Most High, if you're not calling on Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, you know right away there's a problem with that camp. If they're collecting money, if you have to give a resume, if they need to know your background just to be in the camp, you know there is a problem. So I wanted to go into that part of the video because it really bothered me when he said that he was going and listening to all these camps, because all it's doing is it puts confusion on you in the long run. And with that being said, we're going to go to the book of Matthew 13 and 16. But blessed are your blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. So for the Akim that understand what I'm talking about, all praises, you're sealed. You understand this. This isn't a deep message. Revelation 22 and 14, King James Version. This is how I end every class when I'm out on the highways and hedges. And it says that blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have the right to the tree of life, and may enter in through the gates into the city. So if you were to read through Revelation, you're going to find out that only the children of Israel are going through those gates. If there's 12 gates and there's 12 sons, 12 patriarch sons of Jacob, who are the progenitor of all Israelites, when you understand what tribe you're from, if you're Reuben or Manasseh or Naphtali, Gad, it doesn't matter. You got to figure out who your forefathers are, and that is the gate that you're going to walk through. If they that do his commandments may have the right to the tree of life and may enter in through the gates into the city. So you got to understand that you have to be sealed. You have to be in this truth to be able to go in this gate. It's not just something that you receive because you're Yasharal, because there's also scriptures that take the 2/3 and destroy them. And with that being said, if you have eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of this message.